Ayy, look, ayy, ayy, yeah, ayy. I'm in the lab like Dexter, brand new batch he tested. I'm with all the extras, don't try and bitch, I'm pressure. I'm the type to step on steppers, I'm the type to step on steppers. I'm the type to step on steppers, I'm the type to step on steppers.
It's time to go ahead and move on into the Lamar Jackson news that came out today. The Baltimore Ravens, as I mentioned, finally did it right by Lamar Jackson in this situation after a long offseason with these two guys not coming into the table and agreeing on a number. They were able to agree on a number on draft day. And so the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson agree on a deal up to $260 million deal over a 5-year span, and the guaranteed money that he got was 185 million, which is the highest, second highest after Deshaun Watson. And so he's getting now $52 million a year. He is the highest paid quarterback in the league, respectfully. So how do we feel about this?
I feel like both teams kind of reached an area where they felt like this is a compromise that's fair to both sides. Lamar is going to still end up getting about 71% of the money guaranteed, which is just a ridiculous amount. And the Ravens are on the side of, well, and the whole contract isn't fully guaranteed. For the most part, there's still parts of it that aren't guaranteed. So both sides ended up leaving this, I think, fairly happy with what they got. This was a long discussion that they were having in a long battle between both sides. I think the camp was getting a bit sour, and they understood that this was a quarterback that they needed to reach a negotiation with that benefits both sides. So, I'm a huge fan of them at least getting to a spot which is, I think, a fairly like negotiable area, about 71%. And it was an agreeable part. So, both sides benefited from this. Lamar's getting 71% guaranteed, and the Ravens aren't having to pay for a full guaranteed contract. So both sides benefited.
Man, I'm happy they came into agreement, man. I felt like they were doing Lamar dirty the last couple months. I felt like this is repayment for him to come back into the team. They got him his pieces, they gave him his money. Like Abdi said, it's not fully guaranteed. There's not fully guaranteed incentives in the deal, but he got 185 mil guaranteed on 260. So if he stays healthy, that's a whole lot of money coming into his pocket. And Ravens, they did their duty. They paid their franchise quarterback. They locked him in for 5 years, and they gave him the pieces that they need to win or go to the Super Bowl at least, and to compete. So I mean, I'm very happy for Lamar. I've been a big fan of Lamar, and we spoke about this a lot in the past, and now he got his target. So there's nowhere for him to hide. It's time to prove it to prove everybody he's the quarterback that they paid him.
I like this, man. Finally, it's about damn time Lamar Jackson and his situation gets panned out. It was long overdue. It wasn't right by the Baltimore Ravens to do what they did at the start of free agency by slapping him with that non-exclusive franchise tag or exclusive franchise tag. I forgot already, but $185 million guaranteed. Probably not what he was aiming for initially, of course, but I thought he was going to get somewhere in the ballpark of 200, but 185 is something you can't complain about. So overall, it's great that these two people, the Ravens organization, Lamar, were able to come to an agreement on this deal. But I'm thinking about it in a different light. Obviously, you finally locked down the quarterback that you drafted with the last pick in the first round, 3-4 years ago. Now you extend your Super Bowl window for another 5 years, and you added all the help in the world for Lamar Jackson, getting guys like Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews is already there, and you sign OBJ. So, the question now that I have is like, if the Baltimore Ravens don't walk away with a Super Bowl out of this, are we going to look back at this contract and be like, damn, this is probably what they probably should have just paid him maybe a little less?
No, I don't think so. I think these guys are going to be looking at it's all dependent on Lamar's performance. I mean, if Lamar has a bad year, then we can have a discussion about whether they should have paid him, which I still think that they should pay. Obviously, I think it's justified that they pay Lamar Jackson what he's demanding, and this is a fair contract for both sides. And what they were requesting. And even if they don't end up making the Super Bowl, I don't see it. Lamar Jackson's still a young quarterback, fairly young quarterback. He's in his prime. Really, they're not. They still have Zay Flowers, and they're still gonna have Rashad Bateman. So the team's young. To me, it's not Super Bowl or a bust with how I see this team or how they should be operating. So.
Nah, I really don't think that they should have paid him less. I felt like he deserved this money, and I feel like Abdi said, bro, it's on production this next upcoming season, but to say, man, he got an elite receiver room now, so there's nothing left off on the table, and I feel like they're gonna perform this year. Last year, they almost they made the playoffs, if I'm correct or no.
They did.
They did. They made the playoffs last year without Lamar, playing most of the games. He missed 8 games. I feel like this year when he's very healthy with OBJ in the room, with Zay Flowers on the field, Bateman's back healthy, they can get 12 to 13 wins. They can win that division, in a tough division with Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers, even the Browns too. So I feel like he's well deserved of his money. We're gonna see the production come back if he's healthy, and when he's healthy, it's always the healthy factor. But if he's healthy, he plays a full season, I know he's gonna produce.
But that's always a question mark, though, right? That's a question mark that's been,
Yeah, especially in his last 2
couple
years,
of years,
he missed a lot of games.
He's missed a ton of games for these guys, and the Ravens were unable. I don't think they made the playoffs a couple of years ago, but going into the last season, they made the playoffs, and they had to start a playoff game with Taylor Huntley under center. So I'm sure the Ravens, the reason why they did what they did was kind of health did take was a huge factor in the situation. But of course, at the end of the day, it is Lamar Jackson. He's one of the top talented quarterbacks in this league. But now that you've given Lamar Jackson this contract, where do the Ravens rank amongst the top dogs in the AFC?
I think they're up there. Like they're obviously. I think the Chiefs are just still comfy, the number one team, as long as Patrick Mahomes still has arms and legs. I don't think anybody is in there with them. But I feel like they have, like, even within their own division against the Bengals, I feel like they can go toe to toe with the Bengals. I mean, they're a team that always gives the Bengals a tough time, and that's even without a team that has no wide receivers, and they've been up and down in performance. So I put the Ravens up there with the best of them in the AFC, bar the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs are kind of there in their own tier now. As soon as we get to the playoffs, so when we talk about the Bills and we talk about the Bengals, I feel like the Ravens are up there with them.
I got them top 3. We got the Chiefs. I feel Cincinnati as well, and I got the Ravens right there. I feel like they always been up there offensively and defensively. They always been a top team when Lamar was healthy, and right now, like I said, the offensive options they got is fantastic for them. They made the playoffs last year with Tyler Huntley. I can't even name the receivers and an injured backfield. So when everybody's coming back healthy, they picked up Patrick Queen last year in the trade deadline. They drafted Patrick Queen. I forgot who they picked up. What's the guy name from the Bears?
I know who you're talking about, the
linebacker.
Something.
I forgot his name though.
Roquan Smith.
Yeah,
Roquan Smith. There we go. And the guy came in, was a baller, all pro. He fixed that. He helped that defense a lot. So, I got him top 3 in the AFC for sure. Probably right behind the Chiefs, and probably equal with the Bengals, because division games, it's a war.
I don't know. I think with all these added weapons, it's going to be interesting to see how this whole situation plans out and how the Ravens look come week 1. But of course, Chiefs, they're head and shoulders above everybody in the AFC. I'd give them the slight edge over Buffalo. I think Buffalo, they still haven't addressed their needs at the running back position, at the wide receiver 2 position. And so it's really, it's just three team race, potentially 4 with the Jets. Things start to pan out quickly with Aaron Rodgers. But, that's just my whole issue is just with, Lamar Jackson's health. If he's not healthy, of course, none of this thing's going to go. But I don't know. For me, I'd probably put them 3rd. I agree with your rankings, Big H. Probably put them behind Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's been proven. I think Lamar Jackson's a proven quarterback. But at the end of the day, I feel like whenever those 2 teams match up, obviously it's going to be a rivalry for the ages between him and Burrow. I think the Cincinnati Bengals, I just feel like they have the more complete team, especially with. Well, now they have a little bit of competition with the wide receivers, but I still think we're all giving the Bengals the edge in that situation. But Chiefs 1, Bengals 2, and they'll go ahead and put the Ravens at 3. But overall, it's great to see Lamar Jackson get his money, get what he's worth. Ravens did right by him by bringing in all these receivers, all these weapons for him to work with. So, like Big H mentioned, there's absolutely zero excuses for Lamar Jackson coming into week 1 of this upcoming season.
Record a new hit, then we making us a film. Wouldn't sign a deal if I got a couple mil. Been in the lab, now they throwing out deals. Me and now Lakes, now that's overkill.